As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign. And this is going to have to be, there is no path for me to be the next president.
Now, I'm not one to revel in someone's defeat, but when that individual has been as obnoxious and pretentious and have the level of insidious intentions as Vivek Ramaswamy, I can't help but to acknowledge the certain giddiness I get to realize that he spent millions of dollars only to be told by Iowans that he reminds them of someone who did 9/11.
I'm sorry, I'm not being prejudiced, guys, but I don't like his name. I don't like where he came from. After 9/11, I still harbor a lot of hard feelings about that.
It's okay. I mean, is he Trump? No, but he's okay.
I had somebody call me for Vivek, and that person could not say his last name. But I was like, come on, are you just picking people out of the street or what? Like, you got to be able to say the candidate's name. I'm sorry.
No other candidate did more to pacify the racist base that is Make America Great Again, the Donald Trump support base, than Vivek Ramaswamy. We saw throughout the entirety of this campaign how Vivek prostrated himself before not only Donald Trump, but conservatism, to the detriment of black and brown people all over the country, quite frankly, all over the world. No political candidate promoted the dog whistles of MAGAism more than Vivek Ramaswamy, only to be returned in kind with the truth. The white evangelical base of Donald Trump was never going to support him, specifically because of his race, his religion, and honestly, just the sound of his name.
I'm sorry, I'm not being prejudiced, guys, but I don't like his name. I don't like where he came from. After 9/11, I still harbor a lot of hard feelings about that.
But that didn't stop Vivek from doing all that he could, spending his money, millions of dollars, in order to garner favor with conservatives. And while they happily used him and they retweeted him and shared all of his very racist tropes that Vivek would engage in, when it came down to voting, he got only 7%. Millions of dollars, all of his integrity spent in order to just get 7% of Republican voters in Iowa. This should be a warning to any person of color who is doing the bidding of the Republican Party by saying out loud the things that white conservatives can't get away with, quite honestly. No matter what you do to support this type of racism coming from the Republican Party, it will always come back and bite you in the behind, as it did Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, normally when someone is doing the bidding of whiteness the way that Vivek Ramaswamy does, they get paid. There are plenty of black and brown political commentators who get paid excellent money to do the exact thing that Vivek Ramaswamy did, which was to launder all of these racist stereotypes and tropes. That's what he really excelled at. Normally they get paid to do that. Vivek spent millions of dollars of his own money in order to come up empty-handed, and all he did was successfully promote the ideas of white supremacy and Make America Great Again. And here's the thing, Vivek is not even Muslim. He's Hindu. But that distinction absolutely does not matter to a certain type of Republican voter who cannot see past the skin tone, who cannot see past the pronunciation of Vivek's last name. There is a direct line between the same people who called Barack Obama a Muslim and a foreign-born Kenyan to those people who like what Vivek had to say. They loved his racist stereotypes that he would always play in. They loved his attack on critical race theory. They loved his attack on wokeness. But they couldn't get over the fact that Vivek reminded them of someone who did 9/11. And what's more, Vivek is American. This is the subtle and the most hilarious part of this, is that no matter how much Vivek invested into this campaign to try to be the brown MAGA candidate, to be the brown face of white supremacy, the white supremacy of Make America Great Again, of Donald Trumpism, came back and cost him millions of dollars, which is why he suspended his campaign so quickly. Now, Vivek is still throwing his support behind Donald Trump, despite Donald Trump coming out over the weekend and attacking Vivek very directly on Truth Social, saying the following, quote, Vivek started his campaign as a great supporter, quote, the best president in generations, etc. Unfortunately, now all he does is disguise his support in the form of deceitful campaign tricks. Very sly, but a vote for Vivek is a vote for the other side. Don't get duped by this. Vote for Trump. Don't waste your vote. Vivek is not MAGA. The Biden indictments against his political appointment will never be allowed in this country. They are already beginning to fail or to fall MAGA. And so this took place just over the weekend before the Iowa caucuses, showing very clearly that Donald Trump was targeting Vivek, but that didn't stop Vivek from supporting Donald Trump after he dropped out. Even more insult to injury. One may consider perhaps Vivek is still showing support for Donald Trump right now because maybe he can get a nod for the vice presidential pick. Maybe he can get a nod to be the VP. Well, don't get your hopes up so quickly, Vivek. Now, the New York Post is normally an outlet that I would never cite because they are a part of that Republican echo chamber, but they were able to talk with Jason Miller, who is a top advisor for Donald Trump. You will remember him from the Trump administration. Jason Miller said, no, not so fast. According to Miller, he told the Post that voters could probably rule out Ramaswamy as the ex-president's running mate, given that Trump unleashed his biggest attack on him the previous night. The former president accused Ramaswamy of being sly, having deceitful campaign tricks, and not being MAGA during a blistering attack Saturday on Truth Social. Pretty safe to say it won't be Vivek, according to Jason Miller and the New York Post. So all of the money spent, all of the integrity spent, and he can't even be considered to be on the short list for Donald Trump's vice presidential pick. That is both a comedy and a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. And I, for one, am loving the Schadenfreude.
But we talked about it tonight. We took a little bit of time in our apartment in Des Moines before coming here to make some hard choices. And I wanted to make a couple of announcements tonight to get the business out of the way. And then I want to tell you where we're going. As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign. And this is going to have to be, there is no path for me to be the next president absent things that we don't want to see happen in this country. And I think that I am very worried for our country.
Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, Really American. As we join forces and build community to fight back against the attack on democracy, we need your support now more than ever as we push back against the billionaire-funded Republican